What it do, YouTube? This is Les Nation. I am your host of Les Nation channel. And if you like my channel, y'all need to go ahead and subscribe to that channel, y'all. Click. No makeup, no hairdo. And it's process I do need a haircut, y'all. This is as raw as you get, y'all. One thing about YouTube, y'all, you ain't gotta go to broadcasting school. You ain't gotta go to broadcasting school, y'all. No, you don't. All you gotta do is speak your mind. Sometimes speaking your mind makes you feel real good. Stop talking about what you want, what you think people want to hear. Talk about your heart, your mind. Just a thought, y'all. I'm out here just reminiscing, y'all. Even though I am conservative, and yes, I've been. Some of you check my other videos. I am an Uncle Tom, y'all. I'm a coon, but through all my Uncle Tomness, through all my cooning, I love '90s hip hop. I know some of my Christians who probably watching this movie. I mean, see, y'all threw me off track, y'all. Y'all threw me off track. But some of y'all who's watch my previous stuff know I'm a Christian. But yes, I have guilty pleasures and I love '90s hip hop. People just don't understand. See, it seemed like the '90s, no one you had to really be lyrical. It seemed like back in the '90s, yeah, everybody wanted to get money and stuff, but everybody wanted to be great too. Nobody has that because in the '90s, our era, we had what you call a critical mindset. You know, if it was dope, if it was whack, we used to say whack, dope, I know if you say dope now, it's considered, not back in the '90s, dope was cool, '80s dope. But like I said, but stuff like whack, But now if you say if an artist whack, oh, you're a hater. I mean, generations today is like really sensitive, y'all. I mean, yeah, it wasn't perfect. Yeah, you had the East Coast, West Coast beef. I get it. But the music was just great. It seemed like in the '90s between '87 all the way to like '98, it seemed like classics was coming out. I'm gonna take it back to '87, y'all. Like I said, how you ever heard that story, the day I fell in love with hip hop? Well, I got my story, y'all. I got my story. And yes, it was 1987. Now, before this album came out, y'all, I liked their rap. Now, I did love Run DMC, but back then, before this album came out, it was all about Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, New Edition. It was, yeah. I was a kid back then. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I listen to Menudos too, y'all. I'm 52 years old, y'all. So I know I look like I'm 32, but I'm 52, y'all. That's what good living gets you. But getting back to what I was saying, yes, as a kid, yeah, I loved it. I still like Michael Jackson and Prince. But I'm saying it was mainly R&B. I was one of them guys like, I always feel like somebody watching me. It was that kind of moment, but I was still, even though I didn't have a Jerry curl, I had a Jerry curl mindset. Now, like I said, I liked the Houdini, I liked the Fat Boys, but R&B was still my first priority. Luther was my first priority before, but it wasn't until it was 1987. Puberty was kicking in like a mug, y'all. my mind was starting to expand. Then lo behold, my next door neighbor. See, in my parents' house, we couldn't listen to rap. I can't, I grew up, my parents wasn't strict or nothing, but rap was, even Christian rap was banned in our house, y'all. They could tolerate us listen to Michael Jackson, but yeah, Prince was also banned. We could bring Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie and Diana Ross. But outside Prince, oh yeah, he was definitely, you know what, y'all? Purple Rain, I'm going to get to what I have to say, y'all. Just bear with me, please. Please. I'm going to tell y'all this. In 1984, Purple Rain came out. I didn't see that movie till 1990. It had to be over somebody else's house to watch that movie, man. My parents wasn't playing that, y'all. They weren't playing that. Y'all, even though Prince is considered a moral citizen now, but back in the 80s, Prince was taboo, y'all. He was a no-no. Churches all over the world was calling him a Satanist, y'all. I mean, but at the same time, I kind of understand because some of his lyrics was kind of out there at that time. Right now, he's considered PG compared to modern day people. But getting back, it was 1987, y'all. My next door neighbor, if I want to hear some rap music, I had to go to my next door neighbor house. It was a tape. It was dun 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 Criminal Minded. Yep, it was Criminal Minded, y'all. That's the day I fell in love with hip hop. That was the day. I mean, I felt like a white kid when he first heard the Beatles. When I first heard Criminal Minded, y'all, when I heard Criminal Minded, man, my world just went to a whole new dimension in music, y'all. My mindset. When I heard Criminal Minded, y'all, I put New Edition on the back burner, y'all. I mean, I was still listening to him, but it was like secondary, but when I heard Criminal Minded, y'all, it was that moment like when a white kid first heard the Beatles. When they first heard, or a white kid first heard Led Zeppelin, y'all. I'm just thinking about those days, y'all. Then Eric B. and Rakim came out with I Ain't No Joke. No. Thinking of a master plan. With sweat inside my hands, I went to the pocket, all my money is spent. I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Oh my goodness, you had Public Enemy. I mean, my world was turning, y'all. Then Ice-T came out with 6 in the morning, y'all. Y'all, if you old hip hop heads, y'all feeling me, y'all. I'm gonna get to the 90s, y'all. But I'm gonna have to credit the late 80s for me to appreciate the 90s hip hop. I have to credit Boogie Town Production. I got to credit Public Enemy. I got to credit Big Daddy Kane, Biz Marquee, Juice Crew, I got to give them they flowers for the 90s. They set a standard. They set a standard of what is dope. That to be an MC, you just can't just rhyme. You have to be metaphor. You know what I'm saying? Your bars have to be, your swords. You have to be on some Bruce Lee stuff in this hip hop game, yo. But getting back, y'all, and then of course, straight out of Compton, Ice Cube, y'all. Even though Eazy-E at the time was a star, Ice Cube was my favorite NWA. I always said Ice Cube, this is 89 when Straight Outta Compton was like the hottest thing in hip hop. I said He needs to come out with a solo album, y'all. You know, I'm like, cause he had, I mean, even though Eazy-E was the star of the group, he had more coverage, but I was feeling Ice Cube, y'all. I ain't the one, gangster, gangster, dope man, dope man. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm up here reminiscing, y'all. I'm just reminiscing of the golden era of hip hop. I'm not saying it was perfect, y'all. It wasn't a perfect era. But the music, the message may have been negative at time, y'all. But the music was dope. It was straight up dope. Or the 80s, it was fresh. And then you had De La Soul, y'all. And I'm gonna give a shout out to all the female rappers. I love the way they look, but I was never a big fan of their music, Salt and Pepper. But I'm gonna give a shout out to y'all. But first, Roxanne Shante, you know, Queen Latifah, MC Light, Spoonie G, Money Love. I love your music. I love your work. Of course, I would say the greatest female rapper, if she decided to go full time, would have been Lauryn Hill, y'all. Oh man, Lauren, when she came out with Miss Education of Lauryn Hill, man, that was like my soundtrack of '98, y'all. And I know everybody's saying Tupac and Biggie, y'all. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I love Tupac and Biggie, y'all. But why? But I know someone's gonna get upset when I say this. But why is it, y'all? Just because you dead, you got to be the greatest. Why can't someone be alive? I remember when Tupac and Biggie was alive, nobody called them the greatest. You know, back in '94, which I said the greatest year of hip hop. You know who they called the GOAT? Nas. Not, I mean, let's be real. Yes, Nas. I put it like this: Nas is a better lyric than Tupac and Biggie, y'all. I believe if Tupac and Nas got into a lyrical beef, I truly believe that Nas would destroy Tupac. I mean, Nas, see, everybody thinks because Nas, he be looking like a simp sometimes. And that's how Nas, he plays himself because he got that little boyish look about him. See, that's what Jay-Z went wrong with Nas about, man. That's where he just looked at Nas like he a little boy, man. But when it came to that rap beef, man, Nas was on some Michael Corleone. You didn't see Nas coming because what happened was, this was doing Nas when he was going to do a little whack era. He came out with that shorty, say something nice, or, you know, what's that Nostradamus crap? And then Uchi Walla Walla, Shabang Bang. I mean, that was a whack. Oh my goodness. No, I mean, I almost gave up on Nas, y'all. I almost gave up on Nas. But you know what? We gotta thank Jay-Z, man. Jay-Z lit a fire. To me, yeah, people say it was Jay-Z going after Nas, but Jay-Z saved Nas' career, man. Jay-Z saved his career, man. On that takeover, him and Kanye West, y'all, saved his career because when Jay-Z did that takeover song, man, when he did it, man, what Nas come out with? Ether, man. Ether! One of the greatest rappers. I mean, it was just brilliant, man. Nas got a mind that's out this world, man. I mean, if there was, me personally, I think the greatest rapper ever is Nas. I pick him up with LL Cool J, y'all. I will. And I mean, Illmatic was one of the greatest albums ever, man. True, he don't have the same popularity of Lil Wayne, Eminem, Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac. I mean, to me, if 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 Bob Dylan, to me, Nas is what you call the Bob Dylan of hip hop. He is the Bob Dylan, man. Yeah, sometimes you gotta diversify to rock. You gotta open. You gotta expand your mind. We can't always be in the hood. We gotta look at the world around us, y'all. And yes, even though I know I'm gonna sound real Uncle Tom for this, y'all, but quiet as kept, y'all. I like the Beach Boys. I know that's very unblack of me, but what I'm saying, y'all, is that back in the '90s, I mean, you had Wu Tang, y'all. I mean, I loved it, Wu Tang when they first between Enter the Wu, 36 Chambers, all the way up to their second album. That was their magic era. I mean, they couldn't, that 4 or 5 year span, RZA couldn't do nothing wrong. I mean, then you had the Methods to Kyle. Of course, Old Dirty Bastard, that was my dude, you know. I mean, he's kind of remind me of me a little unorthodox. Because this is definitely an orthodox channel, y'all. And I think Raekwon built for Cuban links. Oh my goodness, man. And of course, you can't forget Jizza, then Ghostface. But you know how I say about Ghostface? That Supreme Clientele album. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, this man was lyric. I mean, he was. I mean, even though it's past the golden era hip hop, but that album, man, I always said, I always felt like you think of Raekwon built for Cuban links. I always said that Supreme Clientele is a spinoff of Built for Cuban Links. It just felt like not that I was trying to be a spinoff, but it was, y'all. It's like you listen to The Chronic, y'all, which was one of the greatest rap albums ever. Dre, Dre on that album, man, it was like, to me, the Chronic album was Dr. Dre Motown crowning moment as the greatest producer ever, y'all. I'm not saying other people can't make beats as good as Dre, but Dre just has that ear, man. And the Chronic, I tell you, one of the greatest albums ever, yo. And I forgot what I was about to say about the Chronic, yo. Oh yeah, the Chronic. If I feel like if the Chronic was like that TV show All in the Family, Doggy Style was the spinoff. It was like the Jeffersons, you know. It makes sense to me. It may not make sense to some of y'all who watching this video, but it makes plenty of sense to me, y'all. One day y'all will grow with me, so just keep on listening. But like I said, '90s you had and like this is not a disrespect to Tupac and Biggie, but why is this Tupac and Biggie are two of the greatest rappers in the world. But I'm not gonna go and say they're the greatest, you know, because I remember when Tupac and Biggie was alive, no one wasn't calling them the greatest. They were respected and highly, you know. Oh, of course we all would give them they respect, but it was all about Nas. I mean, when Biggie was alive, Snoop was more popular than Biggie. Where's the water at? Snoop was more popular than Biggie. And when Pac first came out, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all. Let's be honest about Tupac. I love Tupac. I know you can't say nothing bad about Tupac. This is not me disrespect the dead, but I'm just stating the truth, y'all. I remember when his first album came out, y'all. When his first album came out, it was collecting dust. To Acopolis, nobody wasn't buying that album. Interscope was about to drop Tupac. But guess what saved Tupac? Juice. When he came out with Juice, the movie, Bishop. After that movie, that's when the album, the album, they did do a little something more. And that movie saved his rap career, y'all. And Tupac was not no overnight sensation. Because his first number one, like I said, his second album, I Get Around, it was a hit, but he wasn't the biggest rap star. It wasn't until after he went to Death Row when he became the biggest rap star. When All Eyes on Me, which was a classic, by the way, it was believe me, that was All Eyes on Me, y'all. That was like Stevie Wonder hip hop version of Song of Key of Life, y'all. It just 90s, man. It was just different, man. It was like back then, it felt like the artist back then was very uncompromising, Even in the early days of Bad Boys. Yes, pedophile Diddy, he's all about commercial, but Ready to Die and Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear, those were classics, man. I mean, Craig Mack album, Just Like You in the Black. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I should be like the Craig Mack of influencer, because I know I don't have the greatest speaking voice, but I'm very entertaining. But getting back, yes, they had a little commercial appeal on Ready to Die, like Juicy, One More Chance, Big Papa, but back in the days, give me the loot, give me the loot. Who is this baby at 5 and the 6? I mean, those were classics, y'all. And speaking of Diddy, the devil, I always call him the hip-hop devil, y'all. I ain't saying rappers back then was perfect, but I think Diddy, he industry hip-hop, he sold us out. What you mean? It's after when Biggie died, that's when I felt the water. He was the man who watered down hip hop, and there's not a disrespect to Mace, because back then rappers was having the metaphor style, the hippity hoppity, engine number 9. But when it came to like Mace, he kind of started the slow rap, the easy rap. Simping for the ladies, like, girl, I want you, And then it was all about to make you dance, get money, Then the bling bling era, And I'm not dissing rappers with money, y'all. Get your money, y'all. But at the same time, y'all, make some good music too, y'all. And I know I'm not hating people who making money, but still make some good music, besides Kendrick Lamar, sometime Big Sean, J. Cole. These rappers today, it's so industry, It's not when you grew up, it don't have no heart. It don't have no soul to it, It's just straight up pure, just evil all day. You got female rappers, I do not like these female rappers. I can't stand them. I do not. Doja Cat, I like her. She got bars. I don't always agree with what she say, but I gotta give that girl her respect, y'all. I got to give her respect. And the one who should have been much bigger is Rascally, but you know why she ain't blowing up like that? Cause she ain't talking about she ain't selling her you know what. She trying to get respect the right way, but everybody everybody wanna be Cardi B. Everybody be Megan Stallion who, what's her old girl name? Mm, what's that one girl name? Sexy Red. Ugh, man. I can tell Sexy Red don't take a bath, man. But now Kendrick Lamar, he definitely. I think I could put, even though Kendrick Lamar is is a millennial rapper. I can put him up there with Nas, with LL Cool J, Eminem. I could put him under the thousand. Oh yeah, and shout out to down south rap. Now, back in the '90s, Scarface, Ghetto Boys. Despite Willie D being, being, being a Trump hater, I'm gonna give him a shout out. Big Mike, Rap a Lot Records. Um, Let me see, Mystical. I wasn't really a No Limit fan, so I'm not gonna shout out No Limits or Cash. Now I like Lil Wayne now, but back then I was not a big fan of him. The only thing I liked from the early Cash Money was that Juvenile album. That album was slamming. Uh, I'm a Christian. I ain't supposed to say this, but I was never a Luke fan. But I ain't gonna lie, the old me back then used to love the videos, y'all. The old me back then, not this now person, But who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Um, I'm just trying to think, y'all. I know I've been running past my time, y'all. I usually try to do 7 minutes, but I guess talking about this got me so excited. I'm out. This is me reminiscing, y'all. This is not script. This is me coming straight from the mind, straight from the heart, straight from the matter, y'all. I'm trying to think of someone else in the '90s. Oh yeah, Goody Mob. Yeah, look who's looking in my window. Oh my goodness. What? That's the ATL I miss. I don't like this new ATL crap. I mean, besides T.I., he probably the last great ATL rapper. You know, T.I. I think I could do it. I'm gonna try to do a T.I. impression. As I could have Tad. He always trying to use big words. It's like every time you go to jail, he always come out with a new big word. I know time be like, not again. I'm just having a good time, y'all. If you like my channel, y'all, subscribe, y'all. Y'all can subscribe all day, every day, y'all. I'm trying to get past a G, y'all. Get past 1,000, y'all. And I hope that the more people like me, they can cash out me some money so I can grow this channel, y'all. So I can expand. I want to expand, expand, expand. I know some people say I'm crazy, I'm just a free person, y'all. I'm just free. I'm tired of trying to conform to the norm, y'all. And that's what made hip hop. It wasn't always perfect, but they didn't want to conform to the norm. You know what I'm saying? They didn't, that's like me. Why is it we care what other people say? Sometimes we gotta be free, y'all. It's always about acceptance. Now I would like some views, y'all. I ain't gonna front and tell you. I don't care. I don't care what artist. You could be a very uncompromising artist, but deep down, there's something said. I want to sell some records. Nothing wrong with being a genius and want to sell records. It's okay to be successful, but just don't sell out doing it. It's okay to want to have some things in life. Just don't be a sellout doing it. I don't even plan on talking about that either, you know. But yeah, I miss the 90s hip hop, y'all. I guess that's all for now, y'all. I give me some water. I should have had some water earlier because I know my lips is drying, you know. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. And may God, I wish y'all speed, peace,